Hi there, everybody. Mike Petras here, your Star Realtor of Star and the Treasure Valley, here on another episode of Mikey's Market Monthly Update for the month of July 2021. This is where we're going to go ahead and break down and analyze the data of what's happening currently in Ada County and Canyon counties as it relates to the real estate market here in the Treasure Valley. We'll get to those numbers and break it down right after this. On the other side of the intro video. Again, I'm Mike Petras. I'm your Star Realtor of Star and the Treasure Valley, here on another episode of Mikey's Monthly Market Update. This will happen, of course, monthly, and I will go through and break down what is happening here in Ada and Canyon counties as it relates to the real estate market. But if you are looking for professional representation to either buy, sell, or invest here in the Treasure Valley, please feel free to reach out to me. You can get me at 208-715-STAR. Again, that's 208-715-7827. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below so that you can go ahead and be involved in every single one of my videos that pops up, either be educational or breaking down like we got for the market updates. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and let's break into the numbers here and go ahead and analyze what we have going on in Ada and Canyon counties as it relates to the Treasure Valley and your position as to whether or not you're looking to buy, sell, or maybe even invest in today's market. So let me go ahead and share my screen over here to my trusty PowerPoint presentation. And there we go. We'll go ahead and start off with Ada County. Ada County median price we'll go ahead and talk about. So this is where everything's kind of averaging between high and low and coming right smack dab in the middle. As you can see, we have definitely had an increase as we've came across between January and July. We can't miss that here in that yellow line. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at the sold prices before we talk about the average list price. So our sold prices here, you can see that they've kind of come up, and now we are starting to turn that corner into the plateau. Now, I believe even when we do plateau, and we'll kind of know as more time goes on and we analyze more data, but I still believe that we will be on the rise of about maybe 3 to 5% per year. But it's starting to appear that especially the 23.7% run that we had last year is over. We are starting to hit that curve and plateau in this market. That means a lot of different things for both buyers and sellers. Maybe some of this has to do, though, with the average list price that was happening in Ada County. Of course, Ada County being relatively the most popular out of, well, of course, the counties here in Idaho, but especially in between Ada and County or Canyon for these two purposes. You can see that we had a lot of people kind of shooting for the moon in their list prices. They said, market's high. Okay. But of course, we know that even if you list high, the market is going to correct itself. You're maybe not going to get all that kind of traffic that you were hoping to get, and people won't throw out offers. But of course, if you did price your house right, then you could create a multiple offer situation to where you're raising the price. So the market itself is just going to level itself out, but we see a lot of fluctuation here in between what we've got going on. And maybe realtors did get back in there and was able to coach their sellers and say, like, hey, if we go ahead and we price appropriately to the market, we can see these results. But we could see it was all over the place until we finally see a baseline between these last between June and July in itself, to where the average list price seemed to be a little bit more reasonable to what was happening in the market itself. Moving along, if we head over into the listings and solds, inventory is definitely on the rise. Of course, when we're looking at certain quarters, not a lot of people are willing to list their homes, but what we're looking for here is the gap of between what is coming on the market and what is actually selling is a little bit more relevant, yes, to the conversation that we are having here. But you can see Also just the increase of the volume of what we got going on. So you can see basically in January, what was coming on the market was selling. It was almost even. In the course, it ticked up a little bit there in February, good jump there in March, kind of started coming back down there again in May as people were getting out and shopping and buying more. But you can also see now that we're starting to spread and we're starting to see more inventory on the market. Sellers, what does that mean for you? We'll go ahead and get to that after we analyze both of the counties, and I'll break it down for you. Okay, moving along. The days on market on the average, and for Ada County, we're still sitting really, if you kind of break these numbers down, between 12 and 13 days on market. So it's still meaning that we've got fierce competition out there and that people are coming and buying here in our area. So there still is a high demand. That's still going to be able to drive up pricing, even though we're starting to see that plateau. In terms of cancels and expireds, we can definitely see our cancels starting to rise. So what it could be meaning is that I think, and it's been this way for a little bit, that people are concerned that when they do sell their homes, where are they going to go? It's really going to be a lateral position. And of course, interest rates will also kind of flex if you're making a lateral move over to weigh out the benefit if you're going to do so. But maybe also some people are seeing that they're not getting the ultimate price that they're hoping for, and they're just kind of, pulling their homes off the market. Or again, there could be, very, very short contract time too as well. And we can see that reflect too in the expires as we move up. Either we've got some holdouts until the bitter end, or the contracts were very, very short periods of times and that are just kind of hitting back onto the market. Canyon County. So Canyon County, not as crazy when it comes to the overall average list prices that we had going on in Ada County. So perhaps the listing agents were doing a better job of being able to educate their clients and say, hey, if we properly price our home right, this is what we can kind of get. But let's go ahead and we'll break it down. Again, the median price here is on the rise between January and July. We're looking at roughly a $50,000 difference between a 7-month period. The average sold price too as well, we're jumping up, about that same, almost close to about 60. When we're looking at this little jump that we've got right here, guys, in June, the average price jumped up because there was multiple $1-million homes that sold. So don't read too much into it as we go on, but you can see that the average sold price, again, we're starting to come over that hill. We seem to have peaked more or less in April or May, and now we're starting to pump on the brakes. Okay, and I believe that still we will see an uptick to about 3 to 5%. But again, the 23.7% that we saw last year is over. And I believe that we are starting to see that plateau in both markets. Again, if we're looking at the listings and solds, we started off very, very narrow here with very low inventory at the beginning of the year. We really kind of expelled that gap between in the month of March, really kind of got back down when people were shooting again here in June. And we are kind of staying a little bit even, but we will see what happens in the month of August when it comes to Canyon County. But again, inventory is ticking up. Sellers, we'll get to that here in a minute. Average days on market in Canyon County seem to be sitting around about 13. So again, there are still buyers in the market. And the time on market, you can sell your home quickly if it's properly priced correctly. Again, cancels expired for a lot of the same reasons. Again, maybe some holdouts as to why the expireds are rising up, or maybe just short contract terms. But again, cancels too as well. Maybe the sellers are not getting the prices that they're looking for, or they're just kind of realizing the lateral move is not in it for them, which will also just continue to raise inventory as we go along if people are jumping out of the market. So let's go ahead and let's break this down here real quick, and we'll go ahead and summarize this video. So for sellers, I believe that this is a window to be able to get maybe even max dollar for what you're looking for in your house and still be able to make a lateral move with low interest rates. Buyers and sellers, this does apply to you, because of the sellers, if you are making a lateral move, interest rates are still below 3. They're still below 3%. But we all know that that can't last forever because of inflation rates, and as high as they've been for the last 15 years now. It will take an increase in interest rates in order to be able to make our dollar significant and keep it significant. But of course, we don't have a crystal ball in terms of when the Fed actually wants to come around and do that. So we'll play the waiting game. And honestly, if they stay low for now, for buyers, that's a good thing. For sellers that want to make the lateral buy, that's also a good thing. But sellers, with the inventory ticking up, that just means more competition for your home, and it means less buyer pool for your home. So if you have competition going, you'll have to give up some of the contingencies that you were able to get away with before, like your appraisal contingency without multiple offers, or even inspection contingencies, moving it as is. So sellers, you're starting to lose a little bit of your power with the more that inventory does tick up. If interest rates do make a jump here sooner than later, you'll also notice the buyer pool will jump out, and that will also make it difficult to sell your home, and more inventory will come on the market. So I believe that there is a window here between now and whenever the Fed decides to jump up their rates. Again, don't have a crystal ball, but keep your eye on what's happening with interest rates here in the US. Buyers, now that this market is starting to plateau, the multiple offer situations are starting to come to an end. The fever pitch that you were having to find a home is now starting to subside, and you're starting to get some of your powers back as well from the sellers. And interest rates are still below 3. You can't go wrong with that. So buyers, if you were frustrated, if you jumped out of the market because you said, hey, I can't get into this anymore, it's time to come revisit this market and get in here and start shopping about again. If you're still figuring prices are high, we're not going to see any kind of an economic downturn anytime soon, at least what's projected. And there definitely will not be another crash of 2008. The financial institutions have seemed to figure out what was going on. There might be a couple of little things that people are ironing out or talking about in terms of a bubble, but overall, the bubbles and anything that has come to light in this year alone has been quashed by the financial institutions, and they're keeping everything on an even keel. So are prices going to get worse? Probably. So buyers right now, price is still here where we're at. We're still projected maybe to go up about 3 to 5% per year. So get in while you can, and get in while the interest rates are low, and revisit this market. So buyers and sellers, if you're looking for professional representation, I'm your star realtor, and I can be reached at area code 208-715-STAR. Again, that's 208-715-7827. Or you can visit my website and start shopping today at www.yourstarrealtor.com. Feel free to give me a call if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest here in the Treasure Valley. I look forward to representing you. If you have any further questions, also please feel free to reach out. But please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and see our videos that are going to be popping up here in the future. We'd love to keep you all informed. Look for that opportunity to be able to talk to you here in the future. Bless you all, and I look forward to that time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.